Hey, this is Steven from Central Standard Tech. So, I was just working on creating some flows for our development business, and I thought maybe it'll be interesting if I record myself because this is kind of getting a little bit detailed and a little bit technical. So, this is going to be kind of just a work session. Maybe it'll be an hour, I don't know, maybe a little less, maybe a little bit more. But I just want to go through and talk through what I'm doing right now, kind of how we see the system working, and hopefully you'll get something out of it. So, and it's going to be a little bit rough. I'm not going to do a lot of editing just because I got a lot to do, and I just kind of wanted to screen share what I'm doing, and hopefully it turns out okay. So we're going to run an experiment this week in our business. And what we did is a little while back, we developed this SaaS in a box. So if you're not familiar, SaaS is software as a service. So essentially, it's a code base that has a bunch of pre-built features, so you can just set it up and immediately probably save several weeks of work. So what we're doing is we're giving that away for free as a download. We're running Facebook ads and other sorts of traffic, and anyway, so you can land on this, you'll end up on this particular flow, and then that will effectively get you the code base as a zip file. So, well, let's go ahead and just look at what this looks like so you see what it looks like. So what I did is I just clicked on the breadcrumbs in a new tab. So we can view live here. I don't need that anymore. And you'll see what this looks like. It's not perfect by any stretch, but it looks pretty good on a phone. And like about 90% of our traffic coming in is on mobile from Facebook ads. So what we want to do, or what we're going to test rather, is we've been getting a lot of people coming through this that are very unqualified. And so we end up on the phone a lot with people who we want to help, but we don't actually have the time and they don't have the money to pay us. And what we're thinking is maybe there's a way we can help these people find out what they're looking for a little bit faster without us having to spend time on the phone with them or so on and so forth. So what we did is we kind of mapped out a handful of archetypes or personas, and we're trying to imagine like who could end up in this flow, and then we're trying to send those people to different places and potentially make money off of interacting with them, even if they're not like our ideal clients to work with us on a tech project. So I'll show you what I mean. And we haven't tested this, so again, I'll report back in a week or two and tell you how this went. But it's kind of an experiment we're thinking about running. So right now we have this simple form. It's just an image, some rich text with a video embedded, first name and email address. I've got to set up some actions, which I'll do in a minute. I'm going to come back and do all of that kind of at the end. So this next step is asking, how do you plan to implement this code base? And so there's some instructions with the code base, but it's pretty like you need to be a developer sort of to do it. And so we have this, I'll try to do it myself. And this is because we talked to people and we found out there's some people who actually they're just getting started. They don't really know that much and they're thinking they can implement it themselves. We have this I'm a developer thing, which is somebody who's probably a developer. Maybe they have a job at a company and they're thinking about launching a SaaS product. We have this I plan to hire someone, which could be somebody who's bootstrapping a startup or who's already raised a little bit of money or something like that. And then my team will do it as people who are a little bit more established, but they're always looking to kind of see what's out there. So basically what we want to do in this flow, what we're going to do with a couple of these is redirect them somewhere else. Because if you are trying to do it yourself, you're not our ideal client for working with us. And so what we're going to do is we're going to send you somewhere and offer you like a free trial on a learn to code platform that we're an affiliate with. We're going to, if you're a developer, ask another assortment of questions, which I'm still trying to work out, so I don't know if I'll get to all of this on this video. I plan to hire someone is really the one that I think is probably the closest to what our ideal client looks like, with potentially some of my team will do it, people also hiring us. So what we're doing is we're actually going to put these two guys in a bucket, these bottom ones, because the my team will do it means this person is already spending money on software development. This group is somebody who is, it's not 100%, but they're going to be more likely than these first two groups to be our actual target. Okay, so we've established that the I plan to hire someone is really probably the main one for this flow, and you'll see what I mean in a second. So actually, let's deal with these from top to bottom. So I'll try to do it myself. Okay, so we're going to go back up to flows. I'm going to create a new flow, and I'm just going to call this learn to code. Yeah, we'll just call it learn to code. And we'll choose the same property. I'll grab my Facebook pixel. I guess actually, let me just copy. I don't remember my Facebook pixel off the top of my head, obviously. So it's in the first flow, though. I need to edit the flow. Somebody's calling me that spam. We won't answer that. Okay, so let me copy this. And apologies if I sound like a frog today. It's just how it is. So we'll put this Facebook pixel in here, create this flow. And I'm not even gonna like put anything in there just yet. We'll come back to it in a second. So, but if we click view live, I'm gonna go ahead and it's not what I wanted to do. I'm all over the place. Let me click copy link address and we'll open it here. Okay, so it's telling us there's nothing here yet, which is right. So that was a bug a couple of days ago. We just fixed that. So now if there's nothing in here, it doesn't break. It just tells you there's nothing in here. Okay, so what I want to do in my first flow that I have here, which is this SaaSkit download Facebook ad traffic. So I'm going to say I want to add an action, and I don't have any API keys connected to this thing yet, to this particular property, which I need to connect before I can finish this actually. But I can go ahead and redirect without any other integrations hooked up. So I'm just going to redirect to the URL I put in there. And because I know that I've got my domain set up, I can do hi.cst.work. And again, this is something we're going to improve the UX for pretty soon. We can like visit that here and we can see it's the same thing. Maybe not. What happened there? Let me check out what is my property looking like here. It's hi.cst.work. We're sorry, something went wrong. Go back. That's really weird. Maybe it's, oh, I know what it is. Okay, I need to fix that. So we have multiple servers running, and when you go to a custom domain, it's on a different server. So I need to actually push some new code out to that. But I can go in here and create a new variant. We'll just call it A, and then we'll add a step. And for now, we're just going to say multiple choice buttons, add an option, and just do it. And then we'll go back over here and learn to code, turn on. Let's see if that fixes something. Yeah, so it just says multiple choice, do it now. Okay, so copy that link. So note to self, I'm going to write this down really quick before I keep going. Deploy. Okay. Anyway, it's partly why I'm doing all this, also to help myself catch bugs. So, all right, where was I? So I've got my link here, right? want that whole thing, and paste that here. So I'm going to add an action, and I'm going to do it if how do you plan to implement the code base is equal to I'll try to do it myself. So what we're going to do here in the next little bit is change this so that if you're looking at a multiple choice, it gives you a drop down, because this has to be an exact match on the text, and that's obviously going to be obnoxious. But you can see here, if how do you ... is equal to I'll try to do it myself. So we'll test that in a little bit, obviously, but that looks like it's right. Okay, so for the I'm a developer option, let me come back up here. I'm going to close some of these tabs. What I want to do is open that one up, and I'm going to create a... Actually, one thing I'm going to do, again, and I'm just kind of working through this myself, so I don't really have a plan for this video or anything. I'm just trying to map this out. So I'm going to go ahead and tag this with what I think of as the archetype here, aspiring developer. I mean, maybe that's not quite accurate because you're not really like trying to become a developer necessarily, but that's as close as I've got off the top of my head. So I'm going to create a new flow called developer, and it's going to say current challenges, maybe. Same thing, Central Standard Tech. I'm going to go grab my Facebook ID. So what I'm thinking of doing with this one, and so I fixed that thing, so now it should say, it should do the right thing here, so there's nothing here yet, so I don't have to actually go in and build that out just yet. Okay, so I'm going to add another action, which is I'm a developer. So redirect to another URL. Next, that's the URL I just entered, and I'm going to go ahead and change this to be cst.work, and just double check that up here again. Page I'm looking for does not exist. Oh, it's because I went to the wrong freaking place. Hi.cst.work. Okay. It's always good to double check things. Okay, so https hi.cst.work. Next. So we're going to say if how do you plan to implement the code base is equal to I'm a developer, then we want to redirect there. So we've got if how do you blah 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 is equal to I'll try to do it myself, redirect here, so on and so forth. So we're going to do one more of those really quick. I'm going to go ahead and copy this before I forget it again. So new flow, and we're going to call this how can we call this? Team, maybe just manager. I don't know. I got to come back and rename these later, so you know I'll figure it out myself later. But current focus, which that'll probably make sense more in a second. So what we're planning to do actually is, so what we're planning to do is look at, and actually I'm going to edit this to say focus as well. What we're going to do is say, okay, if you're an aspiring developer, we're going to ask you, hey, do you want to learn to code, and redirect you to an affiliate offer. If you are a developer or a manager, in those cases, we're going to ask you, hey, what are your top focuses right now, or top challenges right now, or what are you focused on right now, and give them a few options. And then from there, based on whatever they choose, we'll redirect them to different offers. Now for the manager, that may be something where we offer them a service, because these people are already paying for services from developers, presumably, if they've answered the questions honestly. The developer could be just an independent developer, and so we might redirect them to like another affiliate offer for a training program or for books or something. Okay, so let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and view this live, right? So, and then I'm going to go ahead and before I forget, just change the URL. So another thing we're going to have to do. Okay, so now that's working. We're going to have to make that open. Maybe we'll have another one here. This is like view live on custom domain or something like that, or on, and maybe even say the custom domain. Something to that effect. So there's quite a bit of user experience work left to do in this product, obviously. We've been mostly focused on the functionality. So again, one last time, we're going to say if, well, let's redirect to another URL, paste the URL we want. That looks like it's the new one. Okay, and then if, let's see, what are the options on this again? I'm gonna have to kill that one and start over. My team will do it. Yeah, so this is why we need to have that as a drop down. My team will do it. Redirect to another URL. That one is equal to my team will do it. So one thing you have to be careful about these multiple choice things is if you were to come in here right now and change these options, it might break these actions. So that's something we're going to have to think about from a tech perspective, but for now just be careful that these things match because it relies on that text being the same. Okay, so what this has done is that if you click on anything other than I plan to hire someone, you're going to go somewhere else. So that means if you click on plan to hire someone, you're going to go to whatever step 3 is. So that's going to get us a little bit further along. So now that we're on step 3, now we have to ask ourselves, well, what's the next logical thing we should be asking people? So I decided that how do you plan to build your SaaS product is actually a better question. Because that lets us be a little bit more open-ended when we get into step 3, and then in the other flows that we have to build out, we'll have a little bit more that we can do. So for example here, I'm going to add another element that's going to be just a phone number. Because basically what I want to do is if you say I plan to hire somebody, I want to get on a phone call with you. So I want to say something here like we'd love to talk about how we can help you. Or actually maybe like enter your number below and we'll give you a call. I'm not sure how that's going to end up looking. I'm going to cut that and I'm going to just say phone number. So it's sort of like an input label. And then I'm going to add a rich text element above it, or paragraph. Bump that up to the top. And then maybe make like a little headline like, want to chat? Okay, so then we'll format this thing. Maybe. Let's go ahead and update it and try that again. There we go. Let's do like a heading 4 and let's do bold if it wasn't already. Okay, so let's run through this. Let's add one more thing actually, just a thank you page. I know we're sort of anti-thank you page here, but after you've entered your phone number, maybe I'll think of something, but I think that, it's fine because I'm about to give you a phone call as soon as I see this coming in. So let's just add a rich text, paragraph rich text. So we'll just say, thank you. bold, and then format. I don't know what's going on with that format thing. We'll be in touch shortly. You just leave that like that. That's fine, probably. Okay, so now we have kind of like a step-by-step flow for finding I plan to hire someone, maybe getting a phone number entered. And I'm going to work on this copy later, but I'm not going to make everybody sit here and watch me work on copywriting. It's not exactly my strong suit. So let's go over here and let's just try this thing. I'm going to go ahead and put it on my own domain. Okay, so let's go ahead and fill this out. So I'm just going to put my name, Steven at cst.work. We'll click next. Okay, so while we're here, let's actually go ahead and work on this layout just a tiny bit. So obviously right now everything is fairly basic in Leadjetty in terms of the, get a little internet outage for a minute. In terms of the design, you can't do a ton of stuff yet, which we're going to work on, and we're also going to make it where you can embed these on your own website and put your own styles on them. But in the meantime, one thing you can do is you can edit this and say center vertically. And it's also kind of clever, like if you only have just submit buttons for like the multiple choice, it won't show a button, so the text and stuff doesn't matter. But we can center this vertically, and so you can see what I mean. There's just buttons here. So if we refresh this, it'll center it vertically, which is a little bit nicer for somebody who's just kind of using this on their phone. So I'm going to click, I plan to hire someone. And that's going to take us to our page about want to chat. So we can see that looks okay. So I'm going to actually change that again and say let's center this vertically, because I think that'll look better. And we can refresh that. Okay, so I'm just going to enter a fake phone number here, 12345678990. We don't have validation on area codes or anything on here because we just haven't figured out the best way to handle that yet. So now you get this thank you, will be in touch shortly thing, which we had set up. And you know, we're going to hide this next button if it's the last page and there's really nothing to submit. So I need to make a note of that. So that basically wraps up that flow for the sort of like pathway where we want to get people communicating with us for our business. Let's go check out one thing real quick. So here you can see we have the contact that was entered. You can see here any submissions and then the sort of like basic info. This page is going to get updated soon with more like search capabilities and more details, but for now at least you can see what they submitted, what the data they entered was, and so on. So anyway, we'll cover more on that later. So what I want to do is start building out these other flows here. So this aspiring developer, I'm probably just going to do the one so that you get the idea of how this works, and then probably end the video. Maybe we'll see what happens. We'll see what I'm in the mood to do here. So okay, so we have our SaaS kit download, and you can see here actually conversion rates for each step, which we'll do another video about. But if you want to duplicate a step and then just change it a little bit, change the wording or something, click on this copy button right here and it'll copy it, and then you can go in and edit it and so on. So let's just look in here really quick to remind myself what we're looking at here. So we've got the main page. So what I'm going to do later is come in here and connect my ConvertKit account. I have a ConvertKit account that we use for email subscription, so I'll add page load events, which would be the Facebook pixel in my case, for different things. Like we got a lead right after. So what you would do actually, and we can go ahead and do this since we're here. So if somebody submits this form and they land on step 2, what we need to do is say that we got a lead. And I don't know the value off the top of my head of a lead, but I'm going to call it like $10 because realistically, Facebook can't do retargeting unless you tell it how valuable an action is. At least that's my understanding. Again, I'm more of a software engineer, but that's the understanding that I have right now. So I'll save that. And then what will happen is when somebody lands on this page, it'll say to Facebook, hey, we got a lead. I may need to work that out a little differently though, because really what we'd like is on step 4 here for that to be like a higher value lead kind of. So I got to think about that. Maybe I can add a custom event over here for like development lead or something. Lead is sort of a baked in kind of thing inside of Facebook, and again, like I don't really know exactly how valuable those are right now, but in any case, this will help them optimize my ads for me, and I can set up conversion events based on leads that have come in. So we'll just leave that alone. I'll worry about the more advanced stuff later. Let's see. So what else do I need to do here? I'm going to do my ConvertKit stuff later. So what I'm going to do with ConvertKit is once you submit this form, I'm going to add you to just kind of a basic mailing list. Once you choose an option here, like depending on, so basically what I'm going to do is duplicate all of these guys, and in addition to redirecting, I'm going to put you on a tag you in ConvertKit and say, you know, I'm going to tag you as aspiring developer if you click this, and so on, and then we can send you like more relevant emails basically. Okay, so let's go back and check out one of our other flows for this aspiring developer thing. So few steps. Okay, so I'm going to add a paragraph, and I'm going to put it above, and I'm just going to say something like our SaaS kit is written in Ruby on Rails. One of the best. Here's one of our favorite places to learn. If you, let's say something like, give the free trial a shot, and you can probably get this code base up and running by yourself. Okay, so make that bold maybe. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just delete this element. Okay, so now I've just got this rich text. And I'm going to customize this and say, okay, I think I already clicked center vertically earlier. And try Treehouse for free. I want to make this green, something like that was kind of nice green somewhere in there. Okay, so now let's actually look at this particular flow. So if I go over here and I look at, so where was I here? So if I go back, so in my URL bar, I'm just going to change this to be step 1. It's going to start me over. Okay, so still got my name and email here because it's stored in the session, so we remember who people are if they browse your site. That may work a little bit differently for whenever it's embedded, but when they're on your subdomain, it definitely will. So you see here, this one was chosen before, so it's active, but I'm going to click on, I'll try to do it myself. And that did not work right. Okay, so after a bit of exploration, I think I've found the problem, and we're going to try this together and see what happens. So this, my team will do it. What I need to do is say, how does this work? I will try to do it myself. And then I'm going to make this one, I am a developer. So I think there's something going fishy with the single quote. It's something in the code where it's thinking, okay, that's the end of a sentence or something, or an end of a string. So we've got to work that out. So maybe contractions don't work right now. So I'm going to edit this. So I'll try to do it myself. Should point here. So I'm going to add another one. We're going to remove that action. We're going to add another one that says redirect to another URL. Next, how do you plan to build your SaaS product is equal to I will try to do it myself. Okay, and then I'm a developer, which should be I am a developer, so we're going to delete that one. That's going to have to get fixed, so that won't be like that forever, but for now, if you watch this video and you see that, just keep that in mind. So how do you plan to build is equal to I am a developer. Okay, so now there's no apostrophes anywhere or single quotes. Let's try that. Okay, so let's go back to step 2 here. So I will try to do it myself. What did I write over here? I will try to do it myself. So it should match exactly. So we go here. We're sorry, something went wrong. Okay, so I just pushed up a little hot fix to the server, so hopefully this works now. So I will try to do it myself. Let's choose that and see what happens. Okay, so now we end up in our new flow. So I'm going to go back over here. Let's go check out our flows now. Let's look at this aspiring developer thing. So this is basically just a one-step flow, right? I mean, so we have our try Treehouse for free, submit button colors there. So what we need to do is just say, I need to get my, I need to get my affiliate link. So I'll do that in a second and come back to the camera here. And I also want to get the color of Treehouse, make it match, to sort of have a kind of continuity. So let's see what that looks like in a second. Okay, so I've got my action. So I'm going to redirect to another URL, and I'm going to just paste that in here, which is my affiliate link. And I always want to do this, so I'm just going to click skip. Okay, so that should basically be it for that. Let's go over here to treehouse.com. I think that may actually be like use Treehouse. Let me just search Treehouse, Team Treehouse, that's what it is. So they've got this green color. What color is that? Inspect. Let's just copy that thing. That's all I want. And then let's put that right here. And let's go back over here and see what that looks like. Okay. I'm going to edit this. I'm going to make this an H4. Formats H4. It's a bold H4, which is good. Let's just make this a paragraph just to make sure it's okay, that is what it is. Okay, so we'll save that, and let's see what this looks like. Our SaaS kit is written in Ruby on Rails. Here's one of our favorite places to learn. Give the free trial a shot, and you can probably get this code base up and running by yourself. And then just click Try Treehouse for free, and let's see where we end up. Okay, so now we're back over here, and we're getting people to, basically join via an affiliate link, and yeah, that's basically how that should work. Okay, so I've got a fair bit of work left to do, so I'm going to probably go ahead and end the video here because this is kind of dragging my work out just a little bit. But I don't know if this was interesting or useful, but I hope it is. Let's look back over here really fast before I run away and see. So yeah, so you can see that like right here we have 100% completion because I viewed it and I clicked on the button. So, you know, what we will end up doing is duplicating this several times and seeing how much traffic we can actually push through there, and what gets us the best conversion rate, and in terms of people clicking on that button, because we're going to get paid a little bit for every free trial that people create, and we'll get paid if anybody joins and pays the membership. So yeah, that's a pretty cool test. I mean, I don't know if it's going to work. What I'm going to do basically from here is just create similar ones for the developer, and then more service stuff for the manager one. So for the manager one, we're going to try to get them to hire us to do something, or at least get in a phone call with us. Um, yeah, so let's see, what else would I just add? So, we definitely have some UX and design stuff to work out. There's a little bit of wonkiness to some of this, but I think it's pretty cool. I need to connect my ConvertKit account and hook up all of those actions so that those get executed as well. Um, anyway, I think that's about it. I hope that this was useful. If not, I'm still going to publish it anyway, and we'll see what the feedback is. If you like this sort of thing, leave a comment and tell me you do, and I'll be happy to record more work sessions to help sort of show you how I'm thinking about this. But at any rate, I'll talk to you next time.